that bypasses Cloudflare. But that's only really useful when it's a Cloudflare issue. I don't think it is a Cloudflare issue. No. Wow, we have 114 people have already bought the Vandal Fighter. Pretty cool. That was a good idea. It was. That was Ben's idea, by the way. Yes. The Vandal Fighter.
Where go Ben?
Generate money for the company.
No, it's cool. The Vandal Fighter is cool. You can actually fly it around. In fact, when I was demoing for the press, the game, I would get in the Hornet, I would fly around, and then I had a little test platform where the Vandal Fighter was sitting on, and I would land the Hornet, get out of it, get into the Vandal Fighter, and fly it around. So it looked cool. Although the position for the pilot for the Vandal Fighter was not set up for a human, so your pilot was actually sitting outside the cockpit, but it still looked cool. I don't know if it was this build, although we can't really live stream it. Yeah,
That's a point for another camera happy.
I've seen so far. Vandal.
The Hornet's the one with the turret in the middle, I assume.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Hornet's the one with the turret in the middle, and so that's sort of wing commander.
Is Church doing everything?
No, Ryan's the carrier, the constellation. He's going to do the Aurora. There's another concept artist that worked on a whole bunch of stuff called Jim Martin, who's doing some of them, and there's another guy called Robert McKinnon who's done a bunch of it too. So we have pretty much some of the top film guys that do all the big movies doing conceptual stuff, and
yeah, they're good.
Part of the cool thing is they also nowadays will do a lot of the conceptual stuff in 3D. So
yeah,
then we've been giving the art, and Sergio has been taking it, and so his guys at CG Bar have been sort of taking the high-end 3D concept stuff, and then we've been cleaning it up, texturing it, rigging it, and bringing geometry. And actually, in the case of the carrier, we actually added more geometry than was in the conceptual thing, which was not something I thought we were ever going to do, but because when you have something that big, to try and have the textures hold up when you get close, and to work next to the Hornet, which is 27 meters versus a kilometer,
right?
Even even if you have 32 gigs on your machine, you don't have enough texture memory for that for real time.
Right.
So we ended up having to build all the paneling in geometry instead of having it normally done with texture mapping and normal mapping and maps and stuff. So so we actually ended up adding more geometry than the high-end conceptual.
Right.
It's quite funny.
So how many polygons does it have? Or faces, or whatever?
That's about 7 million.
7 million.
Yeah. Ryan's original conceptual had about 5 million.
Right.
So
yeah, actually, we did that a little bit on
that's not enough. That's
some
not
of
2
the
million.
ships and Star Wars Galaxies when I was working on that, where just because of texture space when you're
get so close.
You could do a lot of LED stuff with on the big ships like the Star Destroyer. You'd have all these little individual chunks of LED. And
when you get close to it, when you get close enough, you're not going to see the rest of the carrier.
Is that
so
PC Gamer?
You can deal with it. I mean, in the demo that I have, we don't have the full LED. The system's in there, but I didn't have time to have all the.
So
there's a lot of
collating a bunch of.
But ultimately, when you're running it on the final build, when you get close and see all that detail, you're not seeing the rest of the carrier. So it's okay. But you kind of need to do that, because otherwise, when you get up close, it's all going to break down. But and the other thing on modern graphics cards is that actually the faces is kind of irrelevant. Right? So the thing is, whether you're drawing 500 faces or you're drawing 5,000 faces,
it
is actually almost identical time to do either one of them. It's the setup for the draw call.
The draw calls and the texture memory.
So as long as you set up your textures correctly, and you say, okay, you just dump 20,000 faces at a time, you can actually have huge face counts on modern GPUs.
Right.
And so I think the problem is a lot of people building games now, because they're still doing it for 360 or PS3, which is 6 or 7 year old tech. They're not really taking advantage of that. So I think as time goes on, it'll be more geometry and less texture space. That's kind of what we're doing.
A lot of people invest a lot more, depending on what environment, because they invest a lot of energy into layers and layers and layers.
Oh, yes.
So they're drawing everything in space.
We go quoting this. So
Yep. Put it back so you can see Chris a bit. There you go.
I'm just here.
So you had a disembodied voice, but that was Chris.
Third party that says, question, this is the time.
See what we're doing on the sites.
Yeah, just let me know. I'm gonna try to get somebody to write that for me tomorrow so I can take a press release.
What's the name of that? That's all Star 3000.
How'd you get involved with the group?
Always get criticized and
Been for a little bit
again,
before, I pledged as well.
this is a little bit of humor anyway. We need to get
Just was having
somebody
to
like
help out with some traveling
Michael
arrangements.
Hector.
Yeah. Well,
Because he has
So you so when you're so you flew in today?
Yeah. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and had a flight at 5:45 from West Palm Beach. So it's been a long day.
Well, we flew out from LA this morning. So.
Okay.
So got up about 4.
Yeah.
Got the 6:30 flight to get here because the other problem is coming from the West Coast. It's
Time difference. Yeah.
they're not.
So cool. So
What are you, chimpanzee?
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I
No,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Thank you for supporting us. Very grateful. We're going to build a pretty
You're
awesome
very
day.
welcome. I think it's going to be a hit. I really do. I think you're going to pull a lot of people away from Eve Online.
Well, not trying to be Eve Online at all, but no, you know what?
There's room enough for more than one space game.
Exactly.
Put it that way.
Yeah, Eve's a pretty unique creature.